Alright, hey YouTube, it is RetroSandmanTuts, and today's tutorial is going to be in Photoshop. We're going to be learning how to make a YouTube channel background, and it's going to be fun. So if you open up Photoshop, I have CS4, you can have CS5, 3, whatever. We're going to go to File, Open, and I do have a download link in the description for you guys to download a YouTube channel template that I have made. So if you guys open that up, it should look something like this when it loads. Alright, so this is what it looks like, and we're going to start off by coming over to our layers, and if you don't have layers, you can go to Window and Layers or F7. Double click on the open area, and it'll open up the layer style. Now you can do anything you want in this little area. You can check mark anything you'd like. You could add a drop shadow, anything like that. What I usually do, I like to put bevel and emboss, change the technique to chisel hard and the depth all the way up to 1000, and kind of increase the size a little bit to what you think looks pretty good. So I'm going to set mine at about 8. Looks pretty nice. Or maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, 9 looks pretty good. And you can check mark if you want a color. If you want a different color for it, you can check mark color overlay and then come over to and click and change the color, as you can see. And as you can see at the bottom, we want it to fade out, and it looks like that right now. Don't worry about that right now. I will show you how to fix that in a second. So choose a color maybe you want, and if you don't want just a plain color, maybe you want a gradient, uncheck the color overlay and check mark the gradient overlay, and you can click on this little gradient arrow, and you can choose one maybe that you want in here, maybe the rainbow. I don't know what you guys like. If you want to make your own, you can click on the gradient colors itself and double click on the bottom ones and change it like that, and you can have like a red going on to a black or anything of that sort. I guess I'll just have mine at red for now, I guess. Make a kind of a dark red theme. So hit OK and hit OK again. And I'm going to make an outer glow. Click on the outer glow and change the color to white. Like that. Come over to the elements little area and change the tab to... Oh, you mess around. I like to mess around a lot with this stuff. I just kind of mess around with what looks good. So what I have right now, I have the spread at 22 and the size at 54. And I don't know, you can add... I always like to just mess around. I'm going to add an inner shadow and change the distance. Let's see. Find something that looks good. Alright. So I have my distance at 12, choke at 6, and size at 120, and that looks pretty neat. And yeah, so you guys can choose any colors. You guys can still, I'm saying you don't have to do this exactly. You guys can do whatever you want. I just think this looks pretty neat. So after we get done making that, it's gonna be for every single box on here. So to do that, we don't have to redo it all over. We can actually right click on the layer that we did the designs on in the first place, and then come down to copy layer style, and then go over to all the other layers and paste them. So we're going to go down to the video description layer, right click it, hit paste layer, and then as you can see, it pastes it. So you do that for every single one, like this, and it will do that for us. Get done here. Whoops. And alright, I might as well just paste it for the background too. So as you can see, we already have a pretty nice looking YouTube channel background, but the bottom part, we want that to fade out to black. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a new layer, drag that layer all the way up to the top, so it's on the top of the layers panel. And we're going to get the gradient tool. And it might be on the paint bucket tool, so you might have to hold down and then click the gradient tool. And we're going to come up to the gradient up here, and we're going to select the second one, which should be black to transparent. If it's not at black to transparent, you can hit D on your keyboard to reset the paint to black for the foreground and white for the background. So now what we're going to do, we're going to come down to the very bottom, hold shift, and drag up to the top of this little thing right here, to the top of the whatever, like that. And we're going to make this fade out. As you can see, it's fading out. And I'm going to do that one more time just to be sure that it fades out really nice. And I like to do it on every side, just for it to give a nice little effect. And don't go too far down on the top part. Just like that. So now it looks really, really professional-like. So now when they it fades out to black when you see it on their channel. And now what we can do, we can add some text. So we're going to come down and get our text tool. And what we're going to do is click. And you can change your text font to anything. I have 100-point font right now. So you can change your text to 100-point font. And for my font style, I have Urban Sketch, which is a font that I downloaded customly off of dafont.com. I will have that link in the description for you guys if you guys want to go check some fonts out. And I will make a tutorial later how to install those fonts on your computer. So we're just going to type in whatever you want. I'll type in RetroSandmanTuts. Hit the little check mark up here, and that will apply it for you. Now, as you can see, we have our little text. If you come down to the bottom left corner of the program of Photoshop, you can change the zoom percent. I'm going to change that to 100. It should say like 33.33. And now I'm zoomed in. Come up to where my text is. Alright. So here's my text. We're going to come over to our layers panel and double click next to the on the text layer. So it opens up the layer style panel. And you can also just mess around. You find what looks really nice for you. Alright, and if you guys want what I have distance at 8, spread at 5, size at 13. And I usually like to add an outer glow, just for its nice little effect. Change that. I'm going to change it to white. Change the spread and the size. There we go. It gives a nice little glow. I have the spread at 9, size at 10. Alright, I'm going to add a bevel and emboss. It makes it look a little bit more 3D, I guess you could say. Alright, I have my depth at 409. And let's add a gradient. I think, yeah. Let's change that to a red. Dark red. There we go. Alright. There we go. That looks pretty cool. And, yeah. So now we can hit OK. And now we have our little text here. But where do we put it? Where should we put this at? What I personally like to do, I like to come over to my text layer, right-click it, and click vertical. That will change it so it's up and down like that. And then I like to put it right next to the little boxes like this, so it kind of goes down like that, and it fades out. That's what I really like to do. You guys can do what you like. It might be a little big, so you might want to, if it is too long, if your text is too long, you can come up to this little crop tool, hit C, and hit Control T, and we can resize this down like this, so it fits. Just like that. Maybe shrink it in some more. And then click the little check mark up there, and that will apply it for you. And then I'm going to drag this text layer under the shadow layer. And if you guys want to name your shadow layer, you can. All you have to do is double click on the little text and name it shadow. I usually like to name my text or my layers so I know what everything is. Especially if you're making something that is pretty advanced and has a lot of layers involved. So guys, what you can do now if you want kind of opposite side, equal sides, you can right click on your your text layer and hit duplicate layer, and it doesn't matter what it's named as. And then drag it over to the other opposite side of it, like this, like that, and just like that. And then I'm going to come down to my zoom thing down in the bottom left hand corner and change it to 50% so I can see the whole thing. And so there we are, a basic YouTube channel template that looks pretty advanced for a basic one, actually. So guys, that is a quick little tutorial I think you guys would like. I hope you guys subscribe. Check out my later videos that I have coming. And I would love it if you would like one. I will make you one for free if you guys would like one. So I will be making a lot more tutorials. And subscribe. Check me out later. And I'll see you guys. This is RetroSandmanTuts, and I am out of here. See ya.